free agency news, James Harden, when I saw the headlines, he opted in to then discuss with the Sixers of where he could get traded. The question is, what possible destinations? And there are quite a few columns today talking about possible destinations. Now, what happens sometimes is if you're going to get people to read an article, you have to throw in the Lakers. And I go, okay, could James Harden work with the Lakers? Don't even know if it's real or not. And you throw in the Knicks as well. Because, well, why not? The Knicks, they're always willing to take a chance and make a bad business deal. Here's USA Today. Corey Woodruff. He had 5 possible trade destinations for James Harden. The Clippers. Okay. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Do they trade Paul George? What's Russell Westbrook Jr. III do? Do you want to see Harden and Russell Westbrook play together again? How about the Phoenix Suns? Phoenix Suns, maybe you get another team interested in DeAndre Ayton. So that would give you Kevin Durant reuniting with James Harden. Then you would get Devin Booker in there and then Bradley Beal. What could possibly go wrong? I keep thinking the Mavs are going to get DeAndre Ayton. How about the Knicks? Yes, they make the list. Plenty of talent on the roster, and it would be a stupid thing for the Knicks to do. Sure, you got Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Emmanuel Quickley, Josh Hart. You know what? It felt like there was momentum with the Knicks. You're moving in the right direction. You don't need James Harden. You don't. Now, Jalen Brunson is better than we thought. R.J. Barrett is probably better than we thought. Maybe doesn't get enough credit. He might be underrated. Julius Randle, it feels like it's just a matter of time before he plays someplace else. But how about Harden back to Houston? Play with the Rockets again. Okay. He would give them, quote-unquote, leadership. It's a very, very, very young team. I would rather get Fred VanVleet from Toronto, pay maybe a little extra money. Point guard, not a ball hog. There's also the possibility of Dylan Brooks, former Memphis Grizzly, that they could get him. I think Houston would be smart to just stay young, get a veteran point guard, and then let's see if this roster can develop a little bit there. But James Harden could be on the move as he opts in to be traded by the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, what do the 76ers do? Because if you're Joel Embiid, at what point do you say, why is it that everybody who comes in eventually leaves here? I got coach who leaves. I got players who leave. Coach who gets fired. I got that same GM and Daryl Morey. What are we doing? Do we have enough to compete? Boston just got Kristaps Porzingis. Miami is scheming to try to get Dame Lillard. You look around and these other teams are trying to get better. Are we getting better? And maybe Joel Embiid is comfortable where he is with what he's doing. But you start to look around and you go, okay, got Tyrese Maxey, who I really like. I think he's an all-star. But I just don't know if he's going to look around and see that supporting cast and say, okay, we can compete for a championship. Because right now, they can't. James Harden, now he leaves. What else can you do here? I saw a story where maybe Philadelphia would go after Dame Lillard. I go, okay, who's Portland going to take? Where you go, okay, sure, here's Dame Lillard. You know what I would say? Oh, we'll take Embiid. How about that? No? Scoot Henderson's not yet a star, but he might be. But we'll take Joel Embiid. We'll give you Dame. How's that? Oh, no further talks? Okay. But, you start to look around and go, James Harden, is he really going to help somebody? How much will he help him? I don't think Houston is smart. Plus, I don't know, if you're a young player and you went through last year and the struggles there, and all of a sudden James Harden's going to come back to town and go, hey, I got it, guys. Just get me the ball. That ain't going to be fun. So that seems to be the headline here with free agency with James Harden. Yes, Marv.
Don't they have like 12 guys under the age of like 17 on that team?
No, it's like daycare. I think they have 8 or 9 players who are under 21 years of age. I mean, you're babysitting there. But I don't want James Harden as the guy who comes in and go, hey, he's going to be our leader. he's a great curiosity. And maybe that's what we remember about James Harden. He was fun. He dominated. He changed the game. But at his age, do I want him with a young team? If I could throw him in, if I had my wish, I would say Phoenix Suns. Because then it's like, all right, you guys want chaos. You want scoring. You want everybody can shoot. Go ahead. Here's your team. And then if you lose DeAndre Ayton, you got Harden, you got Booker, and Beal, and Kevin Durant. Let's go. We got something different than anybody else. Yes, Eaton.
The article that you were just referring to in that Sun scenario also has another thing where they could see a three-way trade where the Mavericks land Ayton and Kyrie ends up on the Suns too.
Sure, of course.
So then you would have Harden, Durant, Irving, Booker, and Beal.
I think if they got Kyrie, then they wouldn't get James Harden. I'm thinking that. But I do think the Mavs will somehow end up with DeAndre Ayton. I don't know why I feel that, but I felt that for a while. Jalen Green is one of the young players on the Rockets. And he was on the Podcast P with Paul George. And this is probably 4 weeks ago. And he was asked about James Harden and could he be a good fit for the Houston Rockets.
There's obviously been some links of James wanting to come back to the team. Like, I feel like at this point, you're the king of Houston. Yeah. Like, you got to go through this. You got to go through being double team, being triple team, being the target every time. You got to go through that. And you bring on someone like James, who's such a ball dominant player, like, that's going to hinder your growth a little bit. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Regardless of how it can elevate you on another level of him teaching you and you learning off of him, I feel like for you, you've already been through the fire. So, like, let you continue to learn. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I think it play both ways. Like you just said, it can help and it can hurt at the same time. I ain't really talked to him too much about the rumors and stuff like that. I'm with you on that.
Well, Paul George is leading the witness there, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
there.
It could help and hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, it could help or hurt. And then I guess James Harden wasn't pleased that I think he's helped mentor Jalen Green. And he wasn't pleased that, hey, it could help, it could hurt. That's James Harden. He can help and he can hurt. Yes, Marv.
I'm sure he's telling him the best strip clubs in
Yes.
Houston.
Well, that's the help part.
Right.
Yeah. The hurt part is when he has the ball all the time. Yes, Paul.
It's hard to picture a contender trading for Harden because the 76ers are a contender and they want him gone, right? So if you're looking at a contender who needs more scoring and they want James Harden gone, if you're a contender, why would you say, ooh, let's sign up for that? What another contender doesn't want, we want. Not only do we want to trade for him, now if you're going to trade for him, then you definitely have to give him a contract extension. You wouldn't trade for a guy for a 1-year deal, would you?
No.
Okay, so you're trading for James Harden, and let's say you agreed to a 3-year deal at $120 million. So we're going to pay $120 million for another contender's reject. That it doesn't make sense. He feels like he's going that Carmelo Anthony direction of no man's land.
Well, how many times have you dated somebody that somebody else wanted to stop dating? That's what happens in sports. You're like, I could see the good side of this person. I think they fit in. I think we mesh well together. But James Harden, how old is James? Is he 33? Does that sound right? Yeah. But he looked 33 this year. Now, he did have a couple of moments in the series against Boston where he put up over 40. It was games 6 and 7 that he was horrible. So he's going to turn 34 before the start of the season. Yeah. And if you're the Clippers, what exactly are you doing? You're going to keep Paul George, Kawhi Leonard long term? Here is Zach Lowe from the Mothership on his Low Post podcast.
The biggest subplot in the NBA that not enough people are talking about is Paul George and Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers being extension eligible. In Kawhi's case in July, I think in Paul George's case in September, because I just don't think, based on what I've heard, that if those guys walk in the door and ask for 4-year max extensions, I don't think the Clippers are just giving them to them.
I agree. I wouldn't extend either one of them. They're not healthy at the same time. And even when they are, how long are they going to be healthy at the same time? Yeah, it's difficult. Plus, you look at Denver, And Denver's going to lose a couple of players. It just happens with every championship team. You can't afford everybody here. But you still have the nucleus that's there. Now that's the team that you're gearing up to try to beat. And who's really improving their roster? Yes, Mark.
That's the beauty about being a Clipper. Excuse me. That's the beauty about being a Clipper.
Thank you, Todd.
No one really cares that much.
Well,
that's their motto.
Is that the motto in L.A.?
Oh, in L.A.?
Yeah, nobody
no.
really cares that much.
For the Lakers, yes. For the Clippers,
yes.
no.
Yeah. I mean,
they did the exact same thing the Lakers did. Big free agent and traded the farm for a secondary star.
Yes, Seton.
I don't know that nobody cares, but the real problem seems to be that they load managed the entire year to make sure they were healthy for the playoffs, and then they weren't healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that definitely hurt things.
So that's the big headline here is James Harden, where is he going after opting in to then be traded?